welcome Star Wars fans all across the galaxy. This is Uneducated Star Wars Talk, brought to you by the Uneducated Network. I'm your host, Chris Lambert, and thanks for making me a part of your day. Now, it's a great time to be a Star Wars fans, like always, but around this time, we got Last Jedi trailers, we got Battlefront 2 trailers, we got Rebels every week. It's just a great time to be a Star Wars fan. We got all type of great content and novels. Can't even forget about the novels because I got a book I'm super excited for that I can't wait to get into. But we got all type of content is what I'm saying. All type of great content that Lucasfilm providing us with, and it's just a great time to be a Star Wars fan. Before I get into the show, let me just give y'all a quick reminder to press that subscribe button and that like button if you like the video, and subscribe to the channel so you can get all type of all our content that we try to provide y'all, from sports, hero talk, gaming, NBA news. Well, that's part of sports, and of course me, Star Wars. So press that subscribe. You can learn all type of stuff from us, but back to the Star Wars news. Like I said, it's a great time, and we getting a lot of stuff. We just had the Last Jedi International trailer that just came out, and I like that trailer. It wasn't too much too different. I only watched it once because, like I said, I think it was a couple videos ago, that I'm not gonna be diving too deep into the trailers and TV spots from now on. I did my review for the last big one. Unless we get another big trailer, I don't plan on like doing reviews and recaps for every TV spot, every international trailer, unless something big that I feel like I need to talk to y'all about, that I just sitting on my brain and I have to talk to somebody about it. Then I'll press record and talk to y'all about it. But other than that, I'm trying to go into The Last Jedi knowing as little as possible, because I think this story will have a big implication on the Star Wars universe, big implications on the story going on in Star Wars right now. So I want to go into it as clean as possible. But I do host a Star Wars show, so I'll watch the things once, the TV spots and international trailers. I'll watch the things once, give y'all my recaps of it. But the international trailer, it wasn't too new shots. It wasn't any new shots if I really recall. We got to see some shots out of place from the regular trailer we seen, but overall, it was a good trailer. It reminded me of I say our trailer because it's an international trailer. It's made for other markets and stuff. So sometimes international trailers might not sit well with us, or they have to show the other people other things. Not other people, that don't sound right, but they have to show other cultures, other things, other points of view, because they take things different. So sometimes, like the Force Awakens, I know their international trailer, they had some different shots. That was our first time seeing Rey on Takadana, with Kylo holding the lightsaber to her face. That was our first time seeing that in the international trailer, and I'm glad that we didn't get nothing too big out of this one. Like I said, it was just a remix of the different shots we seen from the trailer. Got words in different places and stuff like that. But good trailer. I'm still excited for the movie. And before I get into Rebels, which is really what we're the main meat of today's show, let me touch a little bit on the novels. Like I said, we got great novels coming out. I finished a couple days ago Star Wars from a Certain Point of View, and I really liked that book. It was a book, basically the story of A New Hope, from 40 different authors, touching on 40 different characters, having their point of view of what's going on at whatever time they in the story. We're seeing it just from their point of view, and it was a great book. I'm gonna try to do a review of that in my next couple videos. If not, because we got so much, like I say, so much content coming out that you got to pick and choose what I really want to talk to y'all about. For a Certain Point of View, I will be giving a review of that in the next couple days, which will be in the on my next video. But also, there's a Luke book coming out, and this book is a bit different. From the synopsis is sort of like from a certain point of view, but it's all stories about Luke, and I'm super excited about it. I really want to know what stories are true and which aren't, and I don't know if the book will tell us which ones are true, which ones are just myths that people just believe about Luke. But I'm so excited to hear the story of Luke Skywalker and see how people in the Star Wars galaxy see see what he see see their point of view on them. So I'm super excited for that. I'm gonna start that up. I think my download on Audible should be ready, and that's a great way to take in your Star Wars books. Is Audible. I love hearing the narrators do a great job, not impersonating the characters, but doing the voiceover for characters, and I just love the Audible books because it puts me more into the story. But let's get to the meat and potatoes of today's show, and that would be Rebels. This week we had two okay episodes. I didn't love them how I really loved the Saw Gerrera episodes in for the Rebellion. But these were okay. These were okay. I'm gonna try to separate them, but you know when you watch the shows together, especially with these hour-long episodes, well, they're not an hour long. Technically, it's two different episodes, but they kind of blend together watching them together back to back. But let's get into the occupation. Episode 5 or 6, don't quote me. I think it's 5, and the Flight of the Defender was 6. But let's get into the occupation. This was not the better of the two. I actually think Flight of the Defender was actually better. But it was great seeing Ezra come back to Lothal. In the beginning of the episode, we get him dreaming on the way to Yavin 4. We get him dreaming about excuse me. We get him dreaming about Lothal. We don't get to actually see his dream or see what's happening in the dream, but he wakes up saying he's seen Ryder. He's seen a couple buddies. Then he's worried about what's going on. And so far this season, he's been pressing a lot about going back to Lothal and helping out and keeping his word. And I like seeing that good guy in Ezra because yeah, he's in the rebellion, but he wants to help out his home planet. Like anybody would want to help out their home planet if they were occupied by the Empire. But Mon Mothma has steadily been, no, we can't attack Lothal yet because we ultimately not really ready for open warfare against the Empire. So we go attack Lothal and say we're successful, the rest of the galaxy still is gonna have to suffer. Maybe they'll even put a tighter grip on the rest of the galaxy because of what we do at Lothal. So we have to pick and choose our battles very carefully, and that's basically Mon Mothma's point of view. And you can't really disagree with her because she is kind of right. You want to see she wants to see the rebellion come together more, be able to have a fighting chance against the Empire. Right now, she probably feels super overwhelmed with the overall military might that they would face against the Empire. So I don't have a problem with Mon Mothma uh, being the more conservative leader, and that's what we know her as from other books and other stories. So it's great to see Mon Mothma be that consistent character, and that's something Lucasfilm always does well with their characters to make them consistent and make what they do in universe make it, make it consistent, and that's great. But like I said, we going back to Lothal, we get Ezra going back to Lothal, and that was great. Get to see him finally go try to help out. My Mothma sends him there to. She got a recording from Ryder. I'm gonna say a couple days ago. I don't know how long ago it was that she actually seen the hollow from Ryder, but she sends Ezra. The whole ghost team goes to Lothal, and that was great because this is Lothal is where Rebels started, and that's where Ezra is from. That's where they all came together. So it was great seeing them back on Lothal, and I loved Ezra's reaction when he first seen Lothal. And you see it looked like they did some orbital bombardments of Lothal, or maybe it was just them doing a whole lot of mining. Because we do know from the Thrawn book that there is a lot of mining going on Lothal. For I think it was Dunium is what is the metal that they making the Death Star out of. So they're mining Lothal real hard to get the Dunium because they have a lot of Dunium on Lothal from actually Governor Price's her mining company that actually had a lot to do with that. But I'm not gonna digress on that. On the whole story of Lothal, you want to check that out. Check out that Thrawn book. You get a lot from not I was about to say Admiral Price, but Governor Price. See a lot of her backstory, and a lot of that ties into Lothal, and you can kind of see the importance of Lothal within Rebels and within the Empire as well, via that Dunium. But like I say, go back to Lothal. It's really messed up, and the episode. That's why I say this one wasn't nearly as good as Flight for the Defender or the Saw Gerrera episodes that came before, because it wasn't too many memorable moments. The most memorable for me was them, the bar that Ezra and Sabine goes into. It was looking for, I think it was Joe, the owner of the bar, who Ezra knew beforehand, before the Empire came. So he was going to this bar thinking it was the only place that the Empire wasn't really welcome and stuff like that. Turns out the Empire took the whole bar over. It's an imperial bar where they go and have drinks and stuff. But we get to see a character that made an appearance in Rebels. I think it was last season on the Antilles Instruction where we got to see this Baron guy. I can't, forgive me for forgetting his name. Let me know in the comments his name. But the Baron, I do believe he was in the Antilles Extraction. So that was it was good to see that, and he's running a bar now on Lothal. So it wasn't good to see that, but it was. I like seeing older characters that we know, and when Sabine points him out, it was great. At first, I actually thought he was a member of the Inferno Squad, all the red markings he had on his flight suit, but we got to see him back, and he's running this bar, and Ezra and Sabine are looking for Joe. I like the little small talk that they have to come up with to play their cover as civilians, and you can see the Baron kind of starting to recognize Ezra, and at the point that he starts talking about how they executed the Joe guy, you see Ezra getting a little pissed off. He starts balling up his fist. At that point, Sabine immediately says, "We gotta go." And it turns out they didn't buy their drinks, so that's how they didn't actually pay for their drinks. So the Baron was like, "Hey, stop those two." So a friend of Ezra recognizes him, start calling him by a different name, pays for the drinks, takes him out, gets him out of there. So they the mission is now to go try to find Ryder. They do a little I think it was in the sewers of Lothal that they were in, but below in the tunnels. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was sewers. And this was another problem I had with this episode, and probably with this season so far, is the handling of the Death Troopers. I really feel like they failed at handling the Death Troopers. Last episode, we got the. I'm not even gonna rant about that anymore because we know how much I didn't like the Death Troopers in the last episodes. How they just got wiped out like they was just simpletons. But this episode, we get another Death Trooper, and I didn't understand why was this Death Trooper here on in the sewers. I think is where we seen him, but even on Lothal, I don't understand why would Death Troopers be on Lothal? Death Troopers are supposed to be from the Tarkin doctrine, and they're supposed to be only be with high up officials like Krennic. Like I think Tarkin should have Death Troopers. I don't mind seeing them with Thrawn. I love seeing them with Thrawn. Thrawn is a Grand Admiral in the Empire, so he deserves to have Death Troopers as well. I didn't mind them seeing him with the Kyber crystals, because that's pretty important to the Empire, having the Kyber crystals for the Death Star. So it made sense to me that Death Troopers were keeping watch of the Kyber crystals. But in this episode, I really cannot put a finger on why was a Death Trooper leading the squad of stormtroopers in this episode. I still love the Death Troopers. I just hate how they handle them in Rebels so far. Hopefully it gets better. Let me know in the comments, how do you feel about the Death Troopers? How do you feel about Rebels handling them so far? And do you still like them? Because to me, I still like them, but they not as much as a threat as they were before coming off of Rogue One. Because after Rogue One, I was like, man, I love the Death Troopers. Yeah, they strike fear in my heart. I want to see them go up against other heroes and stuff and see how other heroes fare. But you know, in Rebels, so far they just they're just they're just I don't like it so far. But hopefully that gets better. And at the end of the episode, they're trying to crawl out of the at the top of a tunnel, and Ryder ends up saving the day. He gets him out of there in their U-wing, and that was great to see. And really, that was all it I can really think of in this episode. It wasn't too much going on in this episode that was really memorable. It was just seeing them on Lothal, and I don't want to mention the Death Trooper again, but that's what it was. But also, we got to see the tanks from Rogue One, the hover tanks, I believe. I need to work on my trivia, really. But we got to see the hover tanks for the Empire from Rogue One, and that was great to see because we love. I've stated it before. I love having the movies, series, books, everything interconnected. So it makes sense that we would see these hover tanks right now in this time period because we've seen them in Rogue One, and we haven't seen them in the movies, and that sucks. But we've seen them in Rogue One, which this is like 2 years out from Rogue One, so it makes sense that they would still be in use within this time period. And that was a great thing from this episode. I really love Sabine's new look. I don't believe she had dyed her hair to this more black color in the last episodes, and it looked real good on her. And thing that another thing that I maybe missed so far is Kanan and Hera almost kissed. They had a little moment hiding from the Imperials, and that was great because I want to see them make it because I kind of know they aren't, but I love seeing their moments before Kanan probably dies or whatever's gonna happen to Kanan happens. So I love to see them connecting, and I know they're not gonna dive too deep into their relationship because this is Disney XD, it's a child show and all that, but it was good to see that they have a little moment and Kanan almost get that kiss, but nope, the phone, not the phone, but the I can't even think of it. The basically the phone rings and cuts Kanan off from his kiss, and I liked it his little dialogue after that. Yeah, of course we gotta go, but that was really it from the occupation. Like I said, it was okay. The better of the two is the flight of the defender, which I'm about to get into that. But I liked it, didn't love it, didn't dislike it, didn't hate it. I liked it. Could have been a lot better. Had some good moments between Ezra and Sabine. I really like their dialogue so far within the season. They seem a little bit closer, but they seem more comfortable, I guess you could say, with each other. And yeah, that's just a testament to the great voice acting that these people do. I don't know their names right off the top of my head, but shout out to them for the great job they doing with their voice acting. But now we're gonna get into a Flight of the Defender, and I think this was the better of the two episodes, and it left a lot of questions because we got to see the wolf, we got the loft cats back, and another thing I didn't mention about last episode was the damn puffer pigs. I don't like the puffer pigs, but they came back in this episode. I'm glad they wasn't a huge part of the episode. They had that one little scene at the beginning, and glad it got over with fast. But the loft cats are in this one, and you see Kanan seem to have not Kanan, I'm sorry, but Ezra seems to have a connection with animals, and that's been established over the seasons. I think it was like season two. It really got established with the damn space whales and all those. But we got to see them be real close with the loft cats, and we got to see what he called it a loft wolf, and these things were supposed to be things of legend around Lothar. It was in cave paintings and stuff like that, so they're a real mythical creature, even within Star Wars. And you can see for a while Ezra was, I don't know, he was seeing the wolf, but turning around like he would blink and then the wolf wasn't there. So maybe I'm thinking the wolf has something to do with of course it's gonna be not force sensitive, but it has something to do with the force. The wolf has a bigger storyline, I think, within this not trailer within this season. The wolf has a bigger story within this season, I think, and you kind of know that because the wolf is at the top of the poster for this season of Rebels. So I think we're gonna get this one isn't the last time we'll see the wolf, and I think they'll have a lot more story implications moving forward. But Flight of the Defender, they're trying to get info on the TIE Defender, the Empire's new ship that they're making. And I love the Defender. I played the X-Wing TIE Fighter games back in the day on the PC. Love those. That's when I was introduced to the TIE Defender. And they do a great job they do a great job carrying it over into Rebels. I really love them, and they look pretty strong too. Our heroes would want to be glad that they don't have to face those in the movies. That Luke doesn't have to fly against TIE defenders attacking the Death Star. That Han doesn't have to shoot down these TIE defenders when he trying to outrun Star Destroyers. I think they should be glad they don't have to deal with these because they have shields. They have like 6 cannons. On top, I'm sure they have proton torpedoes and concussion missiles and all that as well. But the TIE defenders do not look like a joke, and it's sad that I hate that we're gonna see them see the we're gonna get the reasoning why they don't show up in the movies. And my head canon so far is that Ezra and the crew they probably destroyed a factory on Lothal because the main TIE defender factory is on Lothal. So I think they attack and destroy this factory, and I think the cost is too high to mass produce these. So I think that'll be the reason why we won't see those in the movie. And I think towards the end of the season, or maybe in one episode with towards the middle of the season, maybe we'll get that destruction of the factory and get Thrawn maybe saying why, because he seems pretty close to the TIE Defender project himself. So maybe we'll get Thrawn saying that hey, it's too cost efficient to start this all up again, and plus the rebels because they did steal the flight data or something like that. It was something that they stole from the defender from out the inside that told them everything they wanted to know about it. So I want to see more of the defenders in action. We've seen some, but the one in this episode, it was like a more upgraded version of the TIE Defender, of the TIE Defenders we've seen in Rebels, but this was a more upgraded version. And like I said, with the cost efficiency, I think that's a big reason why they won't go into mass production, and that's why we don't see them in the movies because they're so expensive to make. We did get Thrawn in this episode, and I loved his I just love Thrawn. He probably know this by now. This is one of my favorite characters in Star Wars. I like the strategy of war, and I love people who excel at strategic moves in war, and that is Thrawn to the T. Even when it comes down to analyzing people, he does a great job with that. He analyzes situations great. Because when Sabine and Ezra are in the TIE Defender that they steal, he's trying to put two and two together. Like, who's flying this ship? Like, I know it's not Hera because these other pilots wouldn't even be alive right now. Because how great of a pilot she is, she would have took the Defender and just wiped them out. So once Sabine turns off the transponder, in record time, Thrawn says he knows right then that it's Sabine because he knows that she's real technical, that she can do all that. So he knew that Sabine was flying the ship or was within the ship doing that. So I guess he kind of put two and two together that Ezra was actually flying because we did hear him say that if Ezra could do this. If Ezra could do this in the TIE Defender, imagine what our Imperial pilots will be able to do. So that was good to see. That was good to see my boy Thrawn excelling at what he does, and we also got to see him get off a couple shots at the TIE Defender too, and it looks like he's a very good shot. Not only can he hold his own in the fight, he can hold his own with a blaster. He can be the mastermind behind the strategy of war. Thrawn look like just a complete package. And quick point. Let me get him in Battlefront 2, because I would love to see Thrawn in Battlefront 2. They haven't really said anything about that, and I would really like to see Thrawn in Battlefront 2. Maybe as other, like Han Solo feels like a upgraded hero, like a very buffed hero. Maybe, not a hero, but a very buffed soldier, if you will, but maybe Thrawn to be that officer class, or be a more buffed officer class, and have more of an impact on the battlefield like that. But I just love Thrawn. I just want him in Battlefield 2. Just give me more Thrawn and everything. Give me more Thrawn in these episodes and all that. I don't want to see him die, so you can hold that. And I can't wait for that new Thrawn book that's on the way as well. But this ain't an episode about Thrawn. This is an episode about Rebels. So let me get back to that. Biggest problem I had with this episode was at the end when after Sabine turns off the transponder, it like immediately clicked in her head that hey, they can destroy these ships from remote. They can destroy them on their own, and that was a bit weird for me because like you should have known that when y'all got in the ship, and you know what I mean. So to me, that was just a little bit off. But that was my only big problem with this episode. Like it left more questions than problems, and that's a great thing. And like I want to know more about this Loft Wolf. What implications they gonna have on the story? Like what it means for Ezra and them? Like I want to know more about that. Really, that's it with this episode. Like I said, I like this episode slightly more than I like the occupation. I didn't like these as much, nearly as much as I liked the last two episodes of Rebels. Those were great, but they were good. I'm sure. Let me know in the comments how you felt about them. As always, let me know in the comments how you feel about today's episode. Um, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. As always, check out all our content. Y'all know I suck at these outros. I'm gonna try to get it down. I don't know how I want to eventually uh, officially do the outros that I'm trying to do, but I'll just work on it, y'all. Watch me grow in progress, and I love y'all for that. Stay tuned next time. Like I said, I'll try to have a recap for from a certain point of view. But right now, I'm about to check this Audible and see if my loop book ready to download, so I can listen, get at that. But until next time, you can catch me right here waiting on Battlefront 2, as always on the Uneducated Network. Like and subscribe. Like I said, also like us on Facebook. You can follow me at on Twitter and Facebook. Twitter, BubbaKush92. Also Instagram, BubbaKush92. Facebook, Chris Lambert. Until next time, bye bye.